Good evening, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us tonight on our Tuesday evening webinar. My name is Kayla Hartwig. I am our job placement coordinator here. Wear a lot of hats around here, but we also will have Mr. Terrence Henry join us here in just a few minutes, and he is with Schneider. We always love having him on. We're going to go over a few things real quick while everybody's still logging in. See, several of you are here already, but we're going to wait on a couple more people. And while we're waiting on them, I'm going to go through what controls you might see on your screen. You might be joining us via a tablet or a smartphone, maybe your laptop or even your desktop computer. So you're going to see a few icons and controls on your device. The first one's going to be your microphone. Everybody is in the listen only mode at the moment. I will turn on those microphones here in just a little bit so you guys are able to ask some questions. The number 2 icon is going to be your green hand. And this is a handy tool, pun intended, for if I'm going too fast or you want to ask a question in the middle of anything, you can raise your hand. So at this time, if everybody would raise their hands, that way I can see that you can hear me. Go ahead and click that hand icon. Thank you very much, Quantisha and Jasmine. Awesome. And then I can put everybody's hands down in one swoop. Just got to click one little button. The third icon that you're going to see is going to be that question icon. If you want to ask a question in the middle of anything, or if you don't have a microphone, you can type a question in that questions box and I'll be happy to answer it for you. Some of you might see a camera option. We're not going to do any cameras tonight. Try not to, just so those of you that might be in a more rural setting, the bandwidth doesn't usually work too well. We want to make sure everybody can hear us okay. So a little bit about who we are here at National Training. We were incorporated in 1978 as a proprietary post-secondary vocational education institution. We are committed to providing a strong curricula with programs that emphasize practical, usable skills blended with a relevant general education foundation. We do have a caring environment with personal attention and close faculty-student interaction with our open door admission policy. We are Florida's oldest truck driving school. We have a state-of-the-art training facility and a 1.25 mile multi-lane highway that ensures safer, more efficient training. We have graduated over 40,000 students since 1978. So we're approaching our 44th anniversary here very soon. You might ask yourself, why drive a truck for a living? And the most simple answer to that is job security. So to kind of elaborate on that job security, I'd like to invite Mr. Terrence to join us this evening and talk to us a little bit about Schneider. Thanks for joining us tonight, Terrence.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here with you tonight.
We always enjoy your company here, that's for sure. So tell us a little bit about Schneider as a company, maybe like their mission or what their vision or core values might be.
Sure, absolutely. Well, yes, Schneider itself is one of the larger transportation companies in the country, and not only one of the larger ones, one of the older ones. We were founded in 1935 in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and we've been able to grow our business to be over a $5 billion part of this industry. We do a little bit of everything, and we do a little bit enough that allows anyone who's interested in coming into this business a firm platform to sort of build and grow. But what we believe in is our core values of safety, integrity, respect, and excellence, and that applies to any and everyone, regardless of your level of experience.
That's wonderful. And so mentioning all of these different opportunities, you guys do offer a lot. I know a lot of our graduates love coming to work for you guys because of that opportunity. Tell us a
Yes.
little bit about some different opportunities that drivers might see coming out of school.
Sure, absolutely, and that's the benefit. I mean, as a larger company, we sort of take a lot of pride in the fact that there is no one thing that you have to do. We have several lines of business that range from our bulk division, which is the tanker fleet. We have what's called the van truckload division. Van truckload is essentially the industry name for what, if you choose to get your license or if you're already in school, what you're going to practice on, those trailers. So we pull those 53-foot dry van orange trailers up and down the highway across the country. So van truckload That is actually my largest division, and that's what many people, when they think about being a driver, that's the connection. So yes, we have that as an opportunity, depending on your location, because again, we do different things in different parts of the country. You'll see anything from regional work to even over the road work as an option. You can run as a solo driver, or we even offer opportunities for teams. That's where you have another professional driver in the truck with you, and you're riding across the country making all the kind of money in the world that you want to make. Uh, and we also do what's called intermodal. Intermodal is, by definition, is when freight moves by more than one mode of travel. Uh, Usually you're talking about the containers, those containers that come out of the rail yard or the ports. We're
Okay.
in that business too. So we give folks who are interested, in your area, Kayla, in the Northeast Florida market, um, rail operations as well as port operations are very
Yeah.
popular, and we're a big part of that.
There's
And
definitely a
that,
lot of
that
that around here.
yeah, oh yeah, you kind of hard to miss it. And then we have a dedicated division. So dedicated work is where we have private relationships and partnerships with Fortune 500 companies that need their freight moved. So that can look like anything. Schneider has partnership with companies that need their goods shipped by flatbed. We do specialized freight, oversized freight. We have a lot of retail type companies. So it's a little bit of everything. So that's why it's a good fit as a starter or even as a long-term choice for graduates.
Absolutely. So it sounds like, I mean, there's just endless opportunity with Schneider. And I think that's what appeals to a lot of our graduates here, especially because, somebody right out of school might not know exactly what they want to do. And
You're 100% right.
they can kind of explore those different types of driving and not have to change companies. So they're
You're
not losing
100%
any of
right.
their tenure or their benefits or seniority or anything like that. And I think that's
Yeah.
what's so appealing.
Yeah,
That
it goes a, it goes a long way because there is a lot of unknowns. I mean, right now, the only common theme that new folks have is that they want to get their license. And then
Absolutely.
what? Nobody knows because every truck driver doesn't want to do the same thing. And that's the beauty of this industry.
Most
Everybody can
definitely.
find their niche. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to find what it is that you want to do,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's safer to say what you don't want to do and go from there.
Yep.
Uh,
Absolutely. I like the way you think.
Yeah, but you're right. We know with Snyder, you could get in one division and you can transfer, never leave the company. And so you can. I got folks that have been with Snyder for 20, 25 plus years.
That's
And
wonderful.
many of them will tell you they've had a different experience and different jobs along the way, but they got that stability that you can't always get at every company.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about some different benefits that Schneider offers to their drivers.
Yeah. So we do a few things, and again, it's a benefit of being a major company, being stable. We're well founded, and we strongly believe that the best way to keep an employee is to take care of them. And
Hmm.
so you have the things that you would expect going to a company. So you get from the basic benefits from medical, vision, dental benefits are built into it. We even have a 401k program. It's a matching 401k, where it's a 50% match for the first 6% of your salary. You can start contributing right away. One of the best things is that you become vested at Schneider at only 3 years of employment, which
Wow.
means that whatever you contributed, Schneider is actually going to allow you to take with you if you choose to leave us. Obviously, they're going to want you to stay much longer, but they invest in you. Um,
Absolutely.
so ongoing training is always there for you, but those are just some of the basics that we make sure that folks know. Uh, yeah, there's a value in being part of an organization that understands that we're only as successful as most our least associate, which might be our newest associate. So
Yeah,
we take that to heart.
absolutely. So I see you guys offer like some paid time off and some driver loyalty programs, things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, vacation. Yeah, you
Awesome.
don't
I
always get,
love that.
earned vacation in this industry, but yeah, it gradually escalates. So again, with tenure, you get
Uh-huh.
more. But yeah, you earn a week vacation after your first year, those kind of things. So it's great stuff.
That's wonderful. So I know a question I get a lot of the time from people who are interested in coming to school or even that are already attending our school is what about tuition reimbursement?
Yes, yeah. So what this is what how we approach it is that we cover up to $7,000.
Okay.
And so that $7,000, regardless if they choose to come to national, and hopefully they will. Upon hire,
Hmm.
we pay it in installments, and an installment plan is based on the type of job they pick. So if they want to be a team driver, where they
Uh-huh.
have that other professional driver with them, they'll get paid a rate of $400 a month per person
Okay.
until that's paid off. And if they choose to be a solo driver, it's paid at a rate of $200 a month. Again, this is in addition to what they'll earn. It's not going to come out of their paycheck. It doesn't come with a contract. It's just part of how we do business. So it's always in it. Everything that Schneider offers you. Not only will it be in black and white, but it'll be always an and versus an or.
Very cool. So we deal here with a lot of our veterans, and we
Oh,
always love
great.
our veterans. We always appreciate everything they sacrifice for our country. What is something that might stand out with Schneider for our military vets?
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that because I myself being a veteran as well, I appreciate anyone who chooses to come into this industry after getting out of that uniform, regardless of whether they did a couple years or whether they did 20 plus. Snyder is represented as one of the more preeminent employers of veterans in across all industries. We're close to 15, 16% of our drivers used to be in uniform at some point. So we actually do have a few programs that might be appealing depending on their status, whether they just got out or whether they've been out for a handful of years.
Hmm.
But we are classified as an apprenticeship employer, which basically means that if the veteran chooses to utilize their earned GI Bill or VA benefits, the VA actually will allow them to receive the equivalent of their BAH, which is their housing allowance for each month of their first year on top of what Snyder's going to pay.
Very nice.
Yep, yeah, it's a nice add-on, especially because they look at it, you're changing industries.
Hmm.
So there's going to be a transition period. And even though you're actually going to do the exact same thing everybody else does, they treat that first year as a training cycle for you. So you're entitled to receive those benefits. So that's available. We also offer, you mentioned the tuition reimbursement. Well,
Hmm.
that also applies because some veterans use their GI Bill to pay for school. So
Yes.
if they came to national, we would treat that like cash and give them the same payout that anyone else, if they wrote a personal check, would get. So they would
Fantastic.
either get the $200 or $400 per month based on the job they picked. And then we also have what we call the credit for service program. So the credit for service is a little bit more limited, but it is targeted for those who may be still serving.
Hmm.
Someone who's still on active duty or even a reserve component of National Guard soldier would be entitled for the credit for service. So what we're looking at is our individuals who, number one, wore the uniform, and then number two, we're looking to see what they did while they served. For example,
Okay.
let's say if they were a driver, because various branches, and again, not just the Army or the Navy, all the branches have some version of transporters as
Absolutely.
as a job skill. And if
Hmm.
your job skill as a primary shows up on your 214 or training record, Snyder will give you credit as long as you show up at our training doors and we hire you within 1 year of your separation, or again, if you're still serving in the reserve or the guard, they'll give you credit for that time for up to your first 10 years. So you can
Wow.
come as a brand new driver into this industry and start off at a rate higher than someone else who never put that uniform on. So that's for those who drove, but let's say if you didn't drive, because the vast majority of folks don't drive in the
Hmm.
military, but so if you were a cook or finance officer or just worked in a office.
Hmm.
I'll give again as long as you show up within 1 year. I'll give you 1 year of service. So you'll start in with as an experienced driver pay, which also
Wow.
means that you will get the if your position that you're applying for has a sign-on bonus, and a lot of them do, you would be entitled to the experienced driver sign-on bonus level versus
Very
the
nice.
inexperienced sign-on bonus. So yeah, just a few incentives that sort of reminds folks that we do care. Schneider
Absolutely.
was started as a veteran-based company because Mr. Al Schneider, our founder, he was actually a
Mhm.
member of the Wisconsin National Guard when he started this company. And so he never lets us forget how important he believes our veterans are.
Absolutely. We totally agree with you guys there. So, on the topic of things that are growing in trucking, women in trucking.